Final episode, Daredevil Season 2, Episode 8. A lot of things to break down. I'm super excited to talk about it. I will start off by saying this.
Go ahead.
Eh,
Get it off your chest.
man,
You want me to go first?
well, how are we doing this? Because I feel like,
Start with the good and the bad. You tell me. I'm gonna go with the good. I'm gonna go with the good.
okay, go ahead. Just start
In
off with the
general, for
good.
season 2, I gotta say, by far, this season is one of the best seasons. I had a blast watching it. I had a fun watching it 8 weeks straight. Loved every single episode. Definitely don't think there was something that I would say to define as weak. I mean, yeah, there was a couple episodes I did feel like there were filler episodes, but that's to be expected. But overall, I generally had fun watching this season, and it had me at the edge of my seat. And I just gotta say, to in my debate why I think this season was great, Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio are the goats. They will forever be Daredevil and Kingpin. And I'm going out of a limb here, take it how you will, but I'm definitely going to compare them to Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill. They have solidified they are the hero and the villain. No matter how many times you keep bringing them back, they are them, and forever they will be the goats. And I'm gonna give them what the roses are, and I'm definitely gonna hand the roses. Much respect to both of them.
That's an interesting take that you just stated just now. You made the comparison of Kevin Conroy's Batman and Mark Hamill's Joker with Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin and Charlie Cox's Daredevil. Never thought about it like that, but
I
I
didn't
feel
know
like
who else to compare it to. I mean, I'm just thinking on top of my head, not to interrupt you, but just to see them on a live screen together, and they have this chemistry that it's just like not an unspoken rule. It's just like forever, just bonded. You know what I'm saying? Like I love them together, and to be honest with you, one can't be without the other. That's just my take on it.
well, I think that's a perfect segue into how we start this episode where Fisk takes the stand on Cameron Page's trial. And if we're being honest, there haven't really been any scenes with Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio together outside of the one that they had in the fight scene 2 episodes ago in episode 6. So
Painting.
yeah, the painting fight scene. So and just thinking back to season 1 of Born Again, we had the diner scene where they, cross paths, to, catch up or whatever. But outside of that, it was at the end of episode 7 when Matt took the bullet for Kingpin, but there's very little interaction with them, but they have a unwritten respect for each other.
Facts. And I can totally agree. Like the way that we get set up with season 1 of Born Again and how we transition to season 2 is a big difference. But as we see that they both kept their word from season 1 all the way to season 2, they both were ride and die for what they believe in their causes. And for that, I can't fault them. And that's why I definitely say they're two sides of the same coin. And I'm going to go back and reiterate how I don't know who else to compare when it comes to hero and villains and big screen and animation right now on the top of my head, but it just definitely they are perfect together. They're in sync. They are the yin and the yang. They are the vigilante and the villain. I mean, they are definitely both insane, but they both definitely come from good places. Whether we are talking about the better good for the city of New York and Hell's Kitchen, but they both want the same thing. If you and in the same take, if you understand what I'm saying, but they are basically the same. They're the same coin, but two different sides. To reiterate on what I'm going back to what I'm saying.
Right. So in this particular situation, the reason why I'm assuming it was Matt and Kirsten's idea to bring Fisk to the stand was to answer the question, which was in Kirsten's opening statement: what is a vigilante and what is a criminal? What is the difference between the two? And I feel like there was a gray area in there that Fisk was trying to take advantage of with the anti-vigilante task force that was key to what they were doing was the same thing as what a vigilante would actually do.
Correct. And it's crazy because Fisk is definitely trying to advocate that the legal things that he was doing outside of the government's reach was sanctioned because he was protecting the city, because that is the main objective as being the mayor of New York. But to go back to Matt Murdock's defense, as a vigilante, he was protecting those who were in power committing the very crime that they are basically trying to stop, and point fingers at other individuals who were not committing any crimes that were highly illegal. And hence what I'm saying, yes, vigilante it is illegal. That's why we have police officers. But they're trying to spin the story and basically turn them into, I guess you want to say the word I'm looking for is terrorist, or a threat to the city. And overall, like, it was basically chess being played in this courtroom. Fisk didn't expect Charlie or Matt Murdock's character to go to the defense. And Matt walking in this trial knew what he had to do in order to win against Fisk, but also needed to expose the corruption that is going on in the city, but slowly take his time to get there. You know what I mean? He needed to present all the evidence before he pulled his trump card, which was a great move on both of them. And to be honest with you, it was like they were both holding a hand, and one thought the other one was going to win. But overall, as the case was unraveling, it seems that Matt had the best hand in the courtroom.
Well, I wouldn't say Matt had the best hand in the courtroom. I feel like at this point, because if we're being honest, Matt lost too, but he got by losing, he ended up exposing the corruption which is Fisk, Kingpin.
Yes and no. I mean, how do I say this? In order to win, he had to lose.
Right.
So the ends had to justify the means. So, as we already know, being a vigilante is illegal. He's not supposed to be doing it. Definitely when you know he's a defense attorney who is protecting the citizens of New York, and he is the devils of Hell's Kitchen, but he did it in a way that he was able to counteract the lawsuit against Karen Page and the city of New York. Therefore, her case was thrown out because she is no longer on trial, which does where I go back to say that Murdoch definitely was smart with this play. Her case was thrown out because it's no longer about her against the city or Fisk, because she is no longer vigilante, because she's no longer working with Daredevil. She's working with Matt Murdock, which is crazy because he had to expose himself in order for Fisk to be arrested. But it was a greater sacrifice in order to protect New York City from going into total chaos and rampage. Because as we progress in the episode, it seems that the city was willing to destroy itself more like a civil war, half the city versus the other half, in order to prove a point to see who was in the right. But at the end of the day, I mean, nobody really won. At least there wasn't too many sacrifices and there wasn't too many lives lost. But overall, the big two players of the chess pieces have been finally laid to rest, which is a big win on both sides, in my take.
So, because before we even jump into the battle of the city, I wanted to cover the governor, her coming to the courthouse during Karen's trial, and she got the approval from the attorney general that they're going to remove Fisk from office, which I feel like after that particular situation, all hell broke loose. Even though Fisk already had a play that they were going to assassinate Matt Murdock as soon as he left the courtroom. Excuse me, Bullseye, which I was a little confused for a second.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Because just breaking down this particular scene where we see the anti-vigilante task force soldiers just walking around in this studio apartment type setting, and then we have Bullseye there. He's looking into a scope of a sniper across the street from the actual courthouse. I'm like, what is going on? Why is he working with them? Like, who is he trying to shoot? And then finally we get like the angle from the camera where we see Bullseye attacking the anti-vigilante task force. I was like, okay, he was trying to be an imposter of the actual Bullseye. Now it makes sense. So as they're walking out of the courthouse, Officer Powell, he gives the okay. They're about to walk out the courthouse. Go ahead and take the shot on Matt Murdock, and which I get it's a TV show, but I'm just like, why did Bullseye even respond back? Why he ain't just say okay and just shoot Kingpin instead? But it's a show. It is what it is. But
Plot armor, but you know how it goes. Definitely,
but he attempts to shoot Kingpin and he ends up hitting Buck in the process, which with this, it's
which
like
was
they're
long deserved. I mean, to be honest with you.
I grew to like Buck. I'm sorry. Like to be honest, I'm not missing Daniel at all. But that's not that we'll get to that a little bit later on in this particular pod. But it calls for everybody to be bunkered down inside the courthouse while Fisk ends up holding like an emergency type press conference stating how he feels about the city and how that the citizens need to protect the city. And then we have this opposite side that the Daredevil, the vigilante supporters, they're assembling and they're all coming to the courthouse. Which, by the way, when you made the comment about terrorists, which I was already thinking of, I wasn't thinking terrorists. I was probably thinking more
Mhm.
two different protests.
Okay.
And it takes me this particular scene takes me back to January 6, 2021. I'm not sure if you remember this particular event in history, but where they stormed a government building and a lot of people were injured and hurt due to this particular event.
Yeah, it's starting to bring up memories, but okay, go ahead, proceed with it. Okay, where you going with this? Because I want to see where you're going with this.
And so there's really nowhere I was going with it. It was just a little. I like what they did with it.
Like nostalgia, they're basically trying to relate what's going on in the real world into the lore of the MCU.
That's the Marvel MCU trademark right there. What they try to make it relatable to what's going on in our current society, which that's one thing that I say that I really enjoy about the MCU.
Hmm.
The Attorney General makes continuous calls to Fisk and offering him the opportunity to resign, and they'll drop all charges. He could just disappear and never come back to New York, which I was cool with that part. I was definitely cool with that part. Meanwhile, Kingpin sends the anti-vigilante task force to attack Jessica Jones, Matt, Karen, Kirsten, and the governor, which this alliance is freaking crazy if we're being honest with each other. Like that was just came out of nowhere. And both sides are attempting to rush into this where we're going back outside of the courthouse right now, where we talk about the citizens of New York. They attempt to rush into the courthouse. And again, it's very reminiscent. Now, I'm trying to remember what his name was. Was it Officer Jones,
Who the other one?
the black one?
Officer Cole North, the
Yeah,
one that knocked
Officer.
out his boy pal.
Yes, yes, yes. Which we should have had the discussion when episode 6, when Officer Powell ordered them to open fire on the citizens and he wasn't really with it. So I didn't know well, I knew where he stood. He was starting to have a little bit of a conscience, but I didn't think that he was going to turn over like that. I thought he was just going to be like, you know what? No, I ain't doing that. I'm cool. But I felt like he was key in the storm of the courthouse. And I got to say, my favorite part, bruh, was when Kingpin told, what was her name? What's the black girl's name that works for him? Don't have her name up here.
Rivera,
Yes, when he told her, "No, I'm not taking the
Sheila,
deal." Sheila, excuse me, Sheila.
Yeah,
When he
Sheila.
told Sheila, "I'm not taking that deal," he said, "Open the doors."
Okay, we gotta talk about that because you say it a lot before I can even say anything. So I mean, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. Let's start in order. Officer Cole did not expect him to go against his boy because he had a conscience. I did not think he was willing to change. That's one. When the team split up in the courthouse, Karen, Matt, Kirsten, Sheila, and Jessica teamed up. I believe they went upstairs. Don't quote me on that, but I know they went to another room. I believe that was upstairs. And then you had Fisk, Cashman, Heather. I think
The
I said
district
Sheila. Now
attorney,
the district attorney
Sheila,
and Sheila, and I forget the name of the. No, I said Buck, but I forget the lawyer's name. the old
District
white
attorney.
dude, the district attorney, but I don't remember his name. But okay, what I'm saying is that when we get them split up, right? And to be honest with you, I did not expect Kingpin to have a squad to ride and die for him at that point. This being said, Cashman got shot by Bullseye. Bullseye was originally ends up killing the imposter, which was smart on Kingpin because Kingpin was already knew that Daredevil had saved Bullseye, aka Poindexter, and was trying to use that as leverage in order to expose Daredevil, which he did not know at the time that Matt was going to expose himself as Daredevil, which was a smart play, but also a crazy one, because that is definitely like I'm trying to think like a Uno reverse card though, because I definitely didn't expect him to do
Said
that.
Uno reverse card.
Because this dude hit him with a draw two card. Daredevil did the draw two card and then hit him with the reversal. Bro, you can't do that. And then all of a sudden they get sent into the judge's room with all three of the judges, and he's over there trying to justify the action. We gotta play the tape. And then all of a sudden Kingpin hits another reversal card and was like, "Oh, Matt, you're foolish. You're not doing what I think you're gonna do." And Matt hits him with I am Daredevil. And I'm gonna tell you something because I gotta talk about this. This is what I'm talking about. This is peak cinema, peak Marvel television. This is peak Netflix. This is why nobody can top like this type of series. Charlie Cox, you are the Iron Man of the Netflix series or the Disney Plus series. I don't care what nobody else is gonna say. You are definitely that guy. You definitely revealed who you are. So there is no more alter ego. There is no more Matt Murdock and no more Daredevil. There is only Daredevil. So there only leaves one hero left. And I'm not trying to change the topic because this is definitely going to go into the next couple weeks going forward. But the only character that I can think of right on the top of my head who only has a secret identity is Spider-Man. So don't quote me on that. That's going to play a crucial part in the MCU. But that was a smart play on Matt Murdock. And now going back to what we were talking about, when they got divided and the city's under attack,
Mhm.
I got to say, bro, like to see all these characters all up close and personal, to see the hallway shot scene with Jessica and Daredevil, and see my man Fisk like open the door. And I'm over here like, bro, and Sheila's like, yo, give up, like, give up. Like, this is the best you're going to get. And this dude said, I will not kneel. And this dude's over here like, I ain't no bitch. And he said, open the door. And they opened the door. And I ain't gonna lie, bro, this is what I'm talking about cinema, bro. This dude went straight into a mosh pit and just started destroying citizen, normal bodied cities. Bro, he took one dude's head that was wearing a Daredevil mask and crushed it like it was like it was a piece of fucking like paper. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. And when he punched that one dude in the beginning, that dude was like, oh shit, uppercut. That dude, dog, I'm pretty sure his entire body got destroyed hitting that wall. And he bitch slapped one chick. And I'm thinking, bro, those people are dead. Those are normal bodied citizens, bro. These are probably people who voted for you. They're dying for what they believe in. And I'm sitting here, bro. And this is what I gotta talk about. Like when I'm talking about attention to detail, and I know I'm glazing and I don't care. And I know the fans are gonna be like, "Oh my god, all you talking about is Daredevil." Okay, shut the fuck up. You wanted peak cinema. This is it. This is what you wanted, right? I have to give credit to where credit is due. It's not just the actor. It's not just the writers. It's not just the Marvel television. They knew what we wanted, bro. This is what we wanted. And to see Vincent D'Onofrio's character redeemed, and I'm talking about redeemed because we're not talking about Kingpin and Echo, and we're not talking about Kingpin and Hawkeye. This is Kingpin at 100%. This is why Kingpin is the GOAT. But I don't know what that energy was when in Echo and Hawkeye, because this is not the same mofo that was dogging in the hallway. Bro, scene to scene, Jessica and Daredevil were dogging the Atlantic Task
Anti-Vigilance
Force
Task Force, yeah.
and dogging them. These are dudes that were in armor. And this dude was going to normal bodied citizens. And let me rephrase that. He is destroying normal human beings with no fucking remorse and did not care about their votes. And I'm sorry. I feel like I'm getting too excited. Let me stop screaming. I have to admit when I'm sitting here, bro, that's crazy. And this is why my last thing I'm gonna say. I have to also issue an apology to you because I gotta admit when I'm wrong. I'm
What are
gonna
you apologizing for this time?
the suit. I didn't pay attention to the black suit. You were right. That was painted on the red suit, and that added a touch. And I love how like the color is decoding or fading off the red suit. So you can see the paint fading as he's progressing, as he's going along. But I also gotta say too, and that's where I'm gonna stop with the glazing because I feel like I'm gonna go on forever. The white suit on the trial, Kingpin. The red suit, Matt Murdock. I don't know about you, but I was comparing season 3 Netflix Daredevil, that final scene, and it really goes to show you because I feel like we're watching the painting that was hanging on the wall not too long ago in that basement scene where he was looking at the painting that Vanessa sold him, which made him fall in love with his wife, which made him a husband. That blood is the same blood, his own blood that was dealt by Daredevil
In season 3.
in season 3. And to see him coated in blood and see Daredevil's paint faded from the black into red, that is imagery. And that will forever stay in my head. And that's why I gotta say they pay attention to detail. They are two sides of the same coin. They are both demonic. They are both demons. They have no, how do I say this? There is no off button with these two. They're both want the same thing, but they go two different ways about it. And that's all I'm gonna leave it at. Peak. Mic
Can I
dropped.
voice my disappointment that we didn't get a final fight between the two?
I gotta agree with you.
That was
Yeah,
very disappointing for me. Like
I like
everything.
the interaction,
Mhm.
but it
Well,
wasn't
could it
satisfying.
be after? Can we have the interaction after?
Yes, but I got 2 things. 2 things. This
Yes.
is me, 2 things. We didn't get a how do I say this? We didn't get a test trial between Jessica Jones and Wilson Fisk. I would love to have seen that. I would love to have seen that too. And I know I'm going black. I'm going back all the way from our recap in episode 1. It just would have been nice if you just gave us punish. I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna leave it at that. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna stop. That's just me.
I hear you.
But you're right. It wasn't satisfying. There wasn't a final fight.
That was probably the highlight that probably weighs the most of why I can't give this episode a 10.
Why, bro? It was up there, bro. It was up there. Story, writing,
Yeah,
acting.
but the final fight between the two, because I'm sorry, the one that they had in episode 6, it was alright, but it wasn't.
They were still putting hands on each other, though, bro. What do you mean? That was
Just say
peak.
I'm just saying, I don't even think at this point can Kingpin even hang with Daredevil? Because when they started the fight I'm talking about episode 6 now.
Mhm.
Kingpin threw like 2 punches and Daredevil dodged him like with no problem. Shoot, shoot. Like he was just chilling. And then I'm like, wow, this is literally like no contest. And then he allowed him to get hit, which I feel like we've been talking about this since the beginning of this season.
But see, that's why they're both demonic, bro. Like, and I'm saying this in a not in a scary, like crazy, like supernatural way. When I'm saying when I'm using the word demonic, what I'm saying is they're both fucking psychopaths, bro. They do not dodge. They do not use no defense. Because I know that the term y'all like to use in football is D, because I don't like saying that. Pause. But there was no D being thrown in these hands, bro. It is just straight action. I'm taking it. Pause. I'm taking the action is being dealt, and that's the crazy part, and that's what the thing about boxing that I love, but I also have to call cap on a lot of things. Like it reminds me of Rocky. Like you can't just take the damage and expect to just keep getting back up. You got to be sheer willpower. But that's what I like about this series. It's a when I say that it's a superhero thing, I'm not saying a superhero because a superhero to me is somebody who has super strength and superpowers, hence the word super. This is a hero. This is a normal human being just taking damage for no reason. It's like Batman. Batman doesn't defend. Batman just takes the damage. Like when he getting shot, he's getting shot. He's just not even blocking. He just that's it. Like, and I get it. it's kind of unbelievable. But in the real world, Teflar is not going to save you that much, especially at point blank. And this is Kingpin. He is on par with like Spider-Man. Now, do we get that retcon in this series? No, because I think Spider-Man might be really. I no. Let me rephrase that. I don't think Spider-Man is Spider-Man. I don't think I know Spider-Man is stronger than Kingpin in the MCU because in the comics they're about equals. But Spider-Man is still stronger because Kingpin is human, but he has superhuman strength as a human. But he can get shot by bullets.
Yep.
He's not like Power Man. He can't just take bullets. He can die, but he can go hand to hand combat with Spider Man only so far. But at the end of the day, when we talk about MCU, like Kingpin and MCU Spider Man, they're not on the same level. But when we're talking about Daredevil and Kingpin, at this point, I don't even know what to think anymore because I'm starting to think that I think Daredevil has outgrown Kingpin when it comes to hand combat because it seems like these two guys are two force, an unmovable object meets an unstoppable object. And I feel
Force,
like
unstoppable force.
unstoppable force. And I feel like that force is no longer unstoppable, which I'm a little disappointed because I really thought Vanessa, RIP to Vanessa, like her passing away was going to give Kingpin that extra strength. But overall, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not really happy how it ended. Was it justified? Yes, because it was leading up all the way to season one in the cafe scene. And like, that's why I go back to say they are men of their word. But would I like to have seen straight hands and Daredevil running the fade on Kingpin? Most definitely, bro. I'm never going to say no to that shit. I want to see blood. I want to see somebody say, I give. I'm done. I'm sorry. I fucked up. I'm unfamiliar with your game. My bad. But we didn't get that. And I'm okay with it. I'm not hating it. Would I love to see it differently? Yes. I would definitely love to see somebody give up. And I would like to have
Oh,
seen a
we
fight
saw
to fight.
somebody give up, which he's like,
But not that wasn't a satisfying
it
ending, you
wasn't
know
a
what I'm saying?
satisfying thing for me, for sure.
But overall, I would love to have seen the fade being run, but we didn't get that. And at the end of the day, I'm not hating, but I can live with it. I don't know about you, I can live with it. But I don't think this is the end. I don't think this is the last rodeo
Okay, so let's go ahead and look forward here. We got quite a few scenes after that
that we got to talk about.
full
Most
circle
definitely.
scenes. I feel like they loaded these last 6 to 8 minutes with scenes. For example, this is the baby scene right here. BB goes to the bulletin and you see the old publisher there that her uncle used to work for, Karen used to work for, and now she
Yes,
has a
sir.
job there. So that was definitely a full circle moment to connect the Daredevil Netflix series and the Born Again Netflix series. Like we discussed this last week with the Mahoney thing, bought him up in there. And then, of course, I'm pretty sure you could not wait to get to this particular part where we see a scene with Jessica with the daughter in a location setting that was not the house. And we see a big dude, no
Pause.
homo,
Pause. No, yeah, no.
walks in the doorway, and we get our first look at Luke Cage in the Daredevil Born Again series.
I'm speechless. I'm not going to lie to you. When I saw this, I had to pause the video. And when I say this, because you said big guy, and I had to sit there and be like, who the fuck is that? And this is where I also had to, I definitely have to go back to, let's rewind a few seconds because I definitely got to talk about BB. BB takes her Uncle Ben's spot from the Netflix series, which is a little funny because we're talking about Spider-Man 2 and is coming up too. But overall, she gets to take her Uncle Ben's spot as a news reporter, which I'm happy for her. More power to you. Hopefully, you actually pay respect to Daniel Blake, but we'll see how that goes. But I digress. And then we get to see Jessica Jones with her daughter playing in her old office building.
Her office alias.
Alias Intelligence. And I'm sitting there, bro, they're connecting the Netflix series, bro. I had to sit there and I had to pause because I'm sitting there. I laughed, I cried, I smiled, and I had to pause the video. And when I saw Luke Cage, I was like, bro, I really thought like having Daredevil come back in a cameo at least was gonna make my day. But to see Luke Cage come back, bro, I ain't gonna lie to you. That touched my soul. And I'm like, bro, they brought him back. My God. Yo, I don't know what else to ask for. I'm so excited. I'm happy. I can't wait to see him in season 3. I definitely love how they did this shit because I did not expect this shit to fucking happen. Now, we got so many questions to ask because the way I took it, I don't think Luke and Jessica are together.
They
I think
hugged.
they're just co-parenting. That's just how I took it.
Nah,
Maybe it's just me.
I think they're together. They're together, bruh.
You
They
think so?
she hugged him. You don't co-parent. You don't hug your co-parent.
No, but the fact that she worried about him, it had me worried. Are you also having and when I hear when I'm saying this, take it with a grain of salt because I don't know how to say it. Are you losing your powers too? Are you also have ED with your powers too? Are you not invincible anymore? Because she was so worried about him working with Mr. Charlie. Why are you so worried for a man who's bulletproof?
I would think it would I don't think it's more of a physical thing. I think it's more of a mental thing. As far as what you may have possibly things you had to do to protect your family, whether it be because you know some sectors of the you know what be doing some shady stuff that may not come to light. So
Topic I definitely think that a lot of people are gonna complain about a power man having a child with a white woman, but I digress. We're not gonna talk about that. But the best part was to see Mike Coulter come back and reprise his role as Luke Cage. Definitely can't wait to see him in season 3. But overall, I am gonna state this. Seeing him come back is a possibility that we get to see Heroes for Hire. And I'm definitely looking forward to that. I mean, we got teased with I believe it was Luke Cage season 3 when Iron Fist came out and
season 2,
season 2. Yeah,
we didn't get a 3.
correction. Season 2,
Which
correction,
I'm
correction.
disappointed actually, based off of what I'm seeing right now. This like, don't get me wrong, I'm extremely I'm happy to see Luke back, but we won't well, I'm not gonna say we won't. I will say the way Luke left off in Luke Cage season 2, it doesn't add up to what I'm looking at right now in this season finale for Daredevil Born Again season 2.
And that's why we have so many more questions, bro. Like, what happened to the nurse? What happened with Butchmaster? What
Okay,
happened to
okay.
the
But
club? We gotta talk about that too, but
real
like,
quick. I meant to tell you. I meant to tell you. I meant to tell you. So I went back and I rewatched the last episode of Luke Cage, which I shouldn't have did that. I usually just watch the whole freaking series and then just work my way to it. But anyway, at the end of Luke Cage, the nurse, her name is
I just call her by what the name of the song is. That's just an old reggae song, Night Shirt Nurse.
okay. Well, we're going. My God, I gotta Google it. But the nurse,
Uh-huh.
they was like they was beefing.
Yeah, they were
And
beefing.
they were beefing, right. So her name is Claire.
Claire.
They were beefing, and one of the henchmen that was working for at Harlem's Paradise is now working for Luke as he owns Harlem Paradise right now. And he tells him Claire's her away. So I think that might have just been the end of their relationship in that particular scene, even though they were going through it throughout that second season. Because I remember the argument where he was like, "You need to control your anger" or something like that, and then that's when all hell broke loose with that, and then that's what it was. But for you, just gonna have to rewatch the whole season to see this
I'm gonna
whole
have to
relationship
definitely rewatch it
unwind.
because I ain't gonna lie to you. I really wanted them to come back together. I'm not gonna lie to you. I thought they were good together, but I digress. And I love Luke Cage, and that's one thing about Luke Cage. It was the soundtrack, bruh, and the story was like really well written. And that's what I like about Luke Cage, bro. Like, it's great to see Mike Coulter come back. I'm happy for him. I definitely can't wait. But we definitely need a Heroes for Hire, bro. We definitely it's been teased since all the way back from the Defenders.
Right.
To see him come back, have a daughter with Jessica, I'm cool with it. It happened in the comics. I'm not against that idea. I'm cool with it. But we got lots to talk about because we gotta rewind and figure out when this happened. Is he still controlling the club?
So that's the thing. That's the $1,000,000 question. Things don't add up from the end of season 2 of Luke Cage to now where you're doing things for the CIA. So
So,
that
like, is
is
money tight? Like, what happened? Did they force your hand? Are they using your daughter? And that's where I have a problem with too, because as we move forward in this in these last 6 minutes of the episode, we get Mr. Charlie on a flight with Poindexter. Now, what is he doing with Poindexter? It seems like he might have recruited him.
I was
So,
thinking the exact same thing. I'm like, maybe he took Luke's place and recruited Poindexter.
but why? And that's the $1,000,000 question because I'm kind of sitting there.
He's a better killer.
Yeah, correct. He's a killer. We don't know if Powerman has killed anybody yet for the CIA, and I hope he hasn't because as far as I know, he hasn't killed nobody
Right.
in the season. But when I say this, take it with a grain of salt. I have to go back and rewatch the Netflix series. I might be wrong, but as far as I know, he never intentionally killed nobody. So,
Hold on. So before you continue, in the Luke Cage season 2, there was a conversation between Luke Cage um
huh?
and she made it known that once you step foot into Harlem's paradise, it begins to change you.
Yeah, I remember that shit.
Okay.
I remember
So
that shit.
if they were
Remember her
smart,
remember her brother came out, told her exactly how it went.
yeah,
I went down with
yeah.
that Biggie poster, which was one of the greatest lines of all time, bruh.
Right. So just thinking back at that, Luke was already walking on that fine line towards the end of season 2 due to the situation with Claire. She was trying to talk him down of doing, control yourself, control yourself, whatever. And now we got Mariah talking to him, here, we're gonna go ahead and give you Harlem's Paradise. And now he's in the owner of Harlem's Paradise, which has not had a good reputation. So
Facts.
if this is going the way that I think that it's going, I feel like he's going to have an issue moving forward if we get the Luke Cage series that what we predicted at the end of Luke Cage season 2 was that it was going to take Jessica, Iron Fist, and Daredevil to take down Luke Cage for whatever that was going on with that, which I'm pretty sure you can clarify a whole lot better than I can.
Yeah, because it did seem like Luke Cage was gonna be the new big bad, in the Netflix series, but we didn't get that. We didn't get a new season contract for all that, but it did definitely seem like that Luke Cage was gonna be the new big bad running New York City. And I believe I said this in the last pod. It seems that a leak has been revealed that Luke Cage is gonna be running for mayor in season 3, which more power to him.
I think
But
that's already solidified, don't because remember we see Sheila in the Spider-Man Brand New Day trailer. So unless they're hiding something where she works for Luke Cage is the mayor and we don't see him,
yeah.
but we don't know.
We don't know. I digress when we say this, but overall, it's great to see him come back, especially when he did the Heroes for Hire with Danny Rand, aka the Iron Fist, with the Wu Tang Clan soundtrack when they're whooping
Mhm.
ass. Great, amazing. I'm a big Wu Tang Clan fan, so forever. Luke Cage is always in my heart. It's great to see him come back. I don't. I To be honest with you, I don't really know where this season is going. And to be honest with you, I'm okay with that. Like
All right,
I hear speculations on the season, but I'm
give
okay
me
with
your
not knowing
prediction.
anything.
Give me your prediction. After we see Matt get arrested and he's sitting in his cell and we see Kingpin is on the water. Like what do you foresee in a season 3? Because actually, you know what? Before we do that, there have been some reports about the disappointing ratings for season 2, which it has already been confirmed that season 3 is a thing, but I don't know how accurate those reports are due to the fact that it's getting the freaking best ratings on Rotten Tomatoes.
I know, right? And I mean, to be honest with you, bro, if you're not watching this, I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. If you're looking forward to DC stuff, don't even bother watching that shit. But this is what you all wanted. You wanted Daredevil to come back and be rated, so you got it. And if you're not watching it, I don't know what to tell you. You can't please everybody. But in my opinion, in season 3, I don't have how do I say it? I don't have a general direction of where it's going. But if I were to predict where it was going, to be honest with you, I don't think Kingpin needs to be the villain right now in season 3. I think he needs to be a side character.
What?
Yeah, because I mean, at some point, how many times are you gonna keep having Kingpin be the main villain for every season, bro? It seemed like you broke him down enough that he is going to be kind of not want to say invisible, but I'm not gonna lie to you. I mean, Daredevil had other villains. I mean, you killed Muse, you pretty much sideline Kingpin. which you redeemed him in this season. And I think he needs to take a sidestep to the story. And I think we got to go back to season 2 Netflix Daredevil, where where it started to change the whole lore. We getting it in Spider-Man Brand New Day because Spider-Man has multiple villains, but he's also fighting the Hand. And we got to talk about that too, because that was a big thing in Defenders. That was a big thing in season 2 Daredevil. And I feel like we I think we need that type of how do I say this?
Level of enemy right now.
Well, not a level, but I think we need a different type of scenery.
We need a new vibe.
We need a new vibe, a new op. We need somebody different, somebody new, but somebody familiar. And this is where I'm gonna go with it. This is just speculation. This is what I think I want. I want to see Electra come back. I want to see Electra control the Hand. And if we don't get that, I'm okay with this because
There's a
the
workout
fans,
video out. There's a workout video.
yeah, and then this is what I hear fans say on Reddit too, that they kind of speculate that Foggy Nelson might be controlling the Hand, and it could be a possibility he could come back,
Bro,
but
you
as a
that's
villain.
cap, bro. That's
But
cap.
if it was if that were to happen, I'm okay with that. But to be honest with you, I definitely want to see Electra come back. I want to see the Hand come back. I
Elodie
want more
Young.
action. I want more action. I need more story. I definitely do think that that would cause the Defenders to come back. Because, I mean, as we know in Defenders season 1, the only season that we got with them, they were fighting the Hand. And they technically didn't win against them. So anything is possible. I could see them coming back to reunite, a reunion. And just maybe, we might get a new recruit for the Defenders. And I'm looking at you, John Benthal. Please come back.
What happened to him being in the Midnight Suns?
I'm cool with that too, but why can't we just get Punisher and Defenders? It's not asking too much. I mean, he is one of the Netflix superheroes, so I mean, why not?
I hear you. There's a lot to digest what you just said as far as Elektra's concerned, which I think that would definitely be appropriate to bring. I feel like the theme of Daredevil Born Again season 2 has been bringing things full circle from the original Daredevil series. And there have been questions unanswered with this Elektra situation, which,
And
by the way, last thing
Mhm.
before we close this out, because I feel like this cannot go unnoticed.
What's that?
The moment Matt hit the courtroom and Heather is on the stand, I feel like that should have had a little bit more to it. It shouldn't have just been objection, Your Honor, and then we just keep it moving.
She had whiplash. She had whiplash on that D though. She was like, "Oh shit, it's bad." Damn. But overall, yeah, I mean, I had to agree with you on that. Heather, you saw that coming. Pause. But to be honest with you, to finish this up and wrap it up real quick, the reason why I say I want to have Electric back, I mean, you said it before in the on the pod. You just don't see him and Karen really lasting too much longer, but it would be a great love triangle and a great way to reunite Elektra with Daredevil. Because like you asked me a question in the last pod, who who do you want Daredevil to be with? And to be honest with you, I already gave you my statement. I truly think his heart belongs to Elektra. That's that girl that got away, even if it's the one that treated him like shit.
Did
I
they
mean,
kiss in season 3?
who?
A Daredevil and Elektra.
But yeah, they died in the in the Rebel, remember?
Wasn't he with Karen at that time?
Mm-mm, he wasn't. He
They
was
weren't
admitting his
together?
feelings to Karen, but they weren't together yet. Yeah, that's why it was a long time building up for them to be together. But I was like, like, don't get me wrong, I like
But
them
they were
together.
together. They were together though, weren't they?
They Yeah,
They
they
could have
kissed in
sworn they
season
were.
2. They didn't kiss in season 3, I think, unless I was wrong. Remember, they had the little scene. They had the
We'll
little Spider-Man
revisit
scene
that.
when it was raining, and then
Yeah,
they kissed and
yeah,
whatever. She forgot the
yeah.
umbrella, but overall, nah. But to be honest with you, the one that got away was Elektra, and I definitely want to see her again. But overall, we could talk about that later, though.